Thomas here with Much Props, going to give you another how-to video. Today we are building something from a new series. I recently had somebody ask if I could make something from the Persona series, and in particular Persona 5 with Joker's Dagger. I've never played the game or seen the anime or the manga or any of that stuff, and I kind of looked at it and thought it was a pretty simple build, and it would be a great way for me to show you a technique on how to make your own daggers, knives, what have you, small blades, and reinforce the inside of them so they're good and sturdy. So today we are going to build a Joker dagger from Persona 5. Let's get to building.
Sorry about my voice. I'm battling a sinus infection right now, so I may sound a little off. The first step, tape the template together and trace the full dagger twice onto your 10mm EVA. Then cut out the handle overlay twice out of some 4mm EVA. When cutting the blade edge, cut an inward 45-degree angle to make it look like a sharpened edge. Try to keep the blade at a consistent angle and make one continuous pull across your edge. The cleaner you make this cut, the less you'll have to clean up with sanding. Make sure you are using sharp blades for cutting. I got this fencing wire at the home improvement store and it was coated with some protective film, so I had to cut that off. Cut a little shorter than your blade so that it stops short of the edge. Because this has a hole in it, I put 2 wires in it to support both sides. Probably not necessary, but for larger weapons it definitely would be. Bend the wire to stay in the middle, Then draw an outline for the trench to lay in the wire. I'm using a wood burner with a rounded tip because it's a quick pass and no dust. I have a perfect width for the wire. I burn inside the lines, then glue the wire with super glue into place. To figure out where the trench needs to go on the other half, lay it on top of the piece you glued in and push down. Then draw lines over the indents so you know exactly where to burn the trench. This time burn on the lines and you should have a perfect fit. By doing this, it allows your piece to lay flat and not bulge in the middle when gluing the halves together. To add the overlay, trace its position onto the blades. This allows you to minimize the amount of glue you use and limit the amount of cleanup you have to do afterwards. No matter how perfect you cut it out and glue it up, you'll always need to sand the edges to get them even. I start with a sandpaper bit first to remove material quickly, then I go over it again with a stone bit to smooth out all the rough marks that the sandpaper leaves. I didn't pre-cut the middle on the bigger pieces because I knew that I have to clean it up regardless, so I went ahead and did that all at once. Same step as before, sandpaper, then stone bit. To add the 4 rivets to each side, I pull out a small sandpaper bit just a little bit and then plunge that onto the foam. This makes a nice recessed rivet. Just keep your hand steady as you push it in. Almost forgot the little loop on the end of the blade. Since it's small, I glued it with some super glue and wiped away the excess. Two coats of plasti dip. I taped off the middle overlay and used some silver acrylic wax paint similar to Rub and Buff to go over the rest of it. You could use spray paint, but it was in the low 40s when I painted and I didn't want to mess up the paint job, so I just went ahead and painted it by hand inside.
We are finished. Here is the end result. Overall, I think it turned out pretty cool. Fairly simple build, especially easy on the paint job, but you could definitely use this same technique to make your own blade. It's very similar to shapes on Skyrim, and I think even Fortnite has a sword that's of a similar shape, but you can use the same technique. If I didn't put the support in the middle, it would be kind of floppy, but as it is, it's pretty sturdy, and I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, maybe you'll try and make this blade yourselves and impress your friends with your Persona 5 building skills, so much so that they make you go to a different high school and disrupt classes. I've never played the game, so I don't get that reference. Maybe you'll get some.
Yay!
And inevitably, they're going to ask you, how'd you make that? You can give them one of these, tell them, much props. You already know it's coming, so how about I just give you just a little stabby stab. Stab. Stabby stab. Ha!